Hey there, YouTube. This is Eric from Team Dead End, and I'm going to be bringing you a Lucky Star deck profile in Otaku build. Um, I'm testing out the lighting, so I don't really know how this is going to turn out too well, but yeah, let's get to the deck profile. For level zeros, I use two of the Konata Getting Out of the Bath. She's the 3K vanilla. You use her because you don't really have much else to use. That's why I only use two of them, but I don't know. 3K vanillas are always a decent opening. Then I use four Konata Kung Fu Master. This card is great. What it does is if you have two or more other otakus, she gains plus one level and plus 1500, putting her at a 35, level 1. And what that basically means is you can set up a somewhat of an early game wall, and that's really nice. Use four because opening with one's never bad, and keeping them on the field is certainly not bad. I'm gonna use three. What is this? Konata and Hiyori and Patty. And what they do is you can rest two other characters and it gets plus 2500. So it is a level 0 potential 5k beater, which is really good. It can run over early game threats. It can run over probably most, if not all, level 0s and some level 1s, which is really good for a level 0. Then use four Konata and Sundress. This card's amazing. It is your bread and butter of the deck, pretty much, because it gives all of your other otakus a global 500 and another global 500 to particular cards being Konata Battlefield and Konata Fast Girl. So these things dish out a potential 1000 to two certain cards, which are major powerhouses of the deck. So yeah, they're very important and they're very good. The last level zeros are four Patricia Martins. What they are a global 500 for otakus, and wait, are they? I'm actually not too sure about that one. One second. Yeah, global 500 for manga characters, and yeah, the difference between these two, this is for otakus and this is for manga characters. However, most otakus are going to have the manga trait as well, so you're still well off. And for one stock, it has Bond with Konata Battlefield, which is also really useful because, like I said, it's one of those cards that is the engine of the deck, the wall, pretty much. And onto level 1s, I use four Konata Battlefields, and this card is amazing. It is a 1/1 4500 that has the effect, it gets plus 500 for each of your other otaku characters, and it has a character encore to discard a character and bring it back as rest during the encore step. And what makes this so good is there's so many, the deck is just buffs and buffs and buffs, and you can very easily sit on your level 1s all the way until your opponent is level 2 or level 3, and I think that's just great. But that's in a perfect world. Yeah, so these can generally get to 8,000 very easily, and that's really good. Use four of them, of course, because it's too good not to use four of. Then four, what is this called? It's Konata on a Summer Day. what this does, it is a 1-0 4500 that is pretty much the same thing as your Kanata Battlefield, but this is more of a contingency plan in case you don't get these, because this does not have the character encore, and it does not have it doesn't get all the buffs from your outside sources, such as your Konata and Summer Dress or Sundress, but it's still pretty solid. As for level 1 backups, I use two Miyuki Takaras, 1-0 1500 backup, pretty standard. They're just good for early game, and you're going to want to save your stock for the later game, because you know your things are still going to be dying and you need to activate effects and whatnot. So you only use 2. For level 2s, I use 3 Konata Fast Girl, and she is just like Konata Battlefield in the sense that she is a wall. She's a 2-2 7500 that has the ability. It gets plus 500 for each other Otaku you have, and when it attacks, it has a climax combo with, what's it called? Small Breast is a status in rare, where when she attacks, you can tutor an Otaku. Is it tutor an Otaku, or I think it might just be tutor a character in general. And that said, that would be much better. One second. Yeah, when this attacks, if Small Breast is status and rares in the climax zone, search your library for up to one Otaku character revealed, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. So when she comes in, she gets swole. She stays swole, and when it attacks, yeah, climax combo, tutor card. I think that's really good. Good for thinning out your deck, getting to those climax cards quicker. It's just pretty solid. 3 Konata Way of the Hobby. She is a 2-1 5500, and she gives all of your other Otakus plus 1000. So she's a really good support character. But you're still generally going to want to have her instead, because she's what you're going to be using with your heavy hitters. But she's still really good. She's also the brainstorm of the deck. Pay 1 and rest her. Flip over the top 4 cards. Draw a card for each climax you revealed. So if you know there's no climaxes in your deck and you have a lot of stock to spend because no one can really run over your things, then that's an excellent way to refresh your deck and gets any unwanted climaxes out of your stock. As for level 2 backups, I use 2, what's her name? Nanako Kuroi. She's a 2-1 2k backup, and she has a backup for 2500. She's level 2, and when you use her backup ability, she gives plus 1k to another of your characters, so she's really good. I like her a lot. I don't know if it's another one of your characters or just a character. I think it might just be a character. If so, that's even better. Wow. Yeah, no. When you use the backup of this card, choose one of your characters with either Otaku and or online game. That character gains plus 1k for the turn. So she is either a 25 and 1 for 2 things, or 35 for 1 thing, and that's really good. Backup events, use 100 megaton crash, 100 megaton shock. What it is it gives your opponent's character, choose a character, it gets plus 6 soul, so you obviously, if you're thinking, man, my deck's pretty thin, my opponent can easily abuse this. I know there's like at least a climax or 2 in there. I either lose now or, play this, and instead of your opponent dealing, 2 or 3, they're dealing 8 or 9. And you're without a doubt going to flip over that climax and cancel it, and it's just really good. I should use 2 of it, but I only have 1 of it, so I only use 1 of it. As for level 3s, I use 4 Konata favorite thing, or what is it? Konata favorite item. When she comes in, she heals the top stock, or stop. When she comes in, she heals the top clock. And she also has the ability Rest 2, she gains plus 1k until the end of your opponent's next turn. So, during your turn, she can be an 11, or higher, obviously. So she can very easily be a 13 or a 14 even. And, during your opponent's turn, it'll be more difficult for them to run over her. I like 4, because I like healing, I like big things, I like Konata, and I like whatever that is. It's like a rock with chocolate on it or something. I have no idea. And for the other level 3s, I used 2 stand-up Konatas. What she does is, when she comes in, I look at the top X cards of my library, or deck. Is it library or deck? I don't know. Top X cards of my deck, where X equals the number of Otaku characters I have, and add 1 of them to my hand. So, once again, good for deck thinning. And she also has the ability, pay 4 stock. On the turn she reverses a card, or reverses a character, she climax combos with This Year Begins, where she restands, and I think that's really good. I love restanders, especially in this game. In Vanguard, they're pretty cool too, but yeah. I only use 2. I have 3, but she's not usually her win condition, and 4 stock's a pretty hefty price, but yeah, she's cool. I like her. As for climaxes, I use 4. Small Breast is a status in rare. It is a 1k 1 soul all. It is a book, so the drawing's always nice, but there's some things you'd obviously rather have. Like, I really wish this was a pants, but it's not pants. Yeah. So Konata Fast Girl climax combos with it, so that's another use for it. And as for the other ones, I use 4 This Year Begins, which is the climax combo with the restander, or stand-up Konata, and she is a 2k 1 soul draw, so it's a 2 soul climax, so it's always nice. And yeah, typically what the deck's supposed to do is to get really big really fast, and generally always have a board presence. Like, in a perfect world, when you're level 1, you'll have something looking like, something like this, where your Konatas are, let's see, 45 plus 1,000 from both of these, or collectively they give it 1,000, so there's 55, plus another 1,000 from both of these, because both 500, so that's 6,500, plus their 500, 7,500, plus their additional 500 from it being this card in specific, so that's 8,500. So you're level 1, and all 3 of these are 8,500. That is really big, and you're typically going to run over your opponent up until level 2. You can very easily sit on these until level 2, and it's just really nice. And, it's never a big deal when they go away, because they have their own character encore, and if you happen to, say, like, level them, and they, or not level them, they go to your clock from taking damage, and you can always just play one of those. Even if it's just a suicider, like, that's fine, because you're still getting back a key component card, and she's also being useful to your other 2 front row characters, or if you don't have one of these, a back, like all 3 of your front row characters. That said, generally you're going to want these. These are always fine. They bring back, Patricia Martin's bring back your Konata Battlefields, which is really strong, and Global plus 500, also really strong. So that's another useful tidbit. Your healer, typical. Your restander, novelty. Your backups are really good. Konata the Hobby is really good. Your Brainstormer. Konata Fast Girl is really good. Tutors. Climax Combo Tutor, also Konata Battlefield at the same time. Your level 1 backups, really good. Konata and Sundress. Or Konata and Summer Day. Contingency Plan, a really good one at that. Patricia Martins, good. Konata and Sundress, good. Konata, Hiyori, and Patty, also very good. They just bulldoze over things at early levels. Konata Kung Fu Master, same thing, bulldozes over early things. And just a very safe opening. Just play that. If it dies, oh well, no real loss. But yeah. I hope you enjoy the deck profile. I hope you enjoy the deck. I really enjoy the deck. It's very fun to use. It's very fun beating over your opponent with, you know, Konata from Lucky Star. Whoops. Because she's just such a, like, funny and iconic character. And my camera's about to die, so I'm going to sign off. Goodbye.